Key number 3 is to treat lease renewals like a sales opportunity. Some of you may listen to the Get Rich podcast. My buddy Keith Weinhold runs that podcast, and Keith was in our office not too long ago. Now I was giving him a tour, and he had never seen an operation all under one roof. Many of the turnkey providers, they don't have property management in-house, or they're kind of spread thin or whatnot. And so I was walking him around our office. He was able to see all of our teammates in action. And the thing that he brought up to me that he had never seen before out of everything, and that guy's seen a lot. He is a wonderful, wonderful trainer, educator. For those of you who don't know of Keith, go and look him up, Get Rich podcast. But the one thing he pointed out to me, he said, listen, I have never seen a sales floor for lease renewals, right? Your property management team treats lease renewals like a sales opportunity. There is a structure and a strategy behind it. And I was like, well, yeah, duh. Like, who wouldn't do that? That is the lease renewals are the single greatest opportunity to get you to that long-term tenant stay, that lifetime tenant, right? And whenever we re-sign a tenant to stay longer and longer past their initial lease term, that is literally putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of our owners. That's like putting $3,700 in your pocket every time my team signs that up for you. So it's shocking to me that people don't think about it this way. But again, it comes back. You'll want to go to jwvwebclass.com to watch my entire presentation to understand the motivations of why property managers don't sign longer than 1 year leases and why they don't focus on renewals. It comes down to motivation. It comes down to they don't have the incentive to do it, and it's a lot of hard work. But that's not how we operate. So you're going to want to treat lease renewals like a sales opportunity. The very first part of your sales opportunity funnel for lease renewals should be when. How soon should you be trying to re-sign your tenant? When does this funnel start? Let's see who has a good idea out there. All right. Are we seeing any responses, any questions, any ideas out there? Or did I hear crickets out there, Kate? Crickets. Great opportunity for some of you to overtake.
We got John.
All right. John's in the game, John.
6 months before the lease ends.
6 months before the lease end. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. That's a little bit longer than what I hear typically. John, this is a trick question, my friend. I appreciate you throwing that in there. I see. I think we got it, right? As soon as they move in, right? You should be literally trying to re-sign your tenant. Now, what does that mean, right? What we train our team to do is, we are here to build up a relationship with our residents. Once they sign up, they move into the house, it is relationship building on our property management team. We are not just bill collectors, right? There are going to be great things that happen in that relationship, and there are going to be things that we have to work through sometimes with the residents. But we train our team that when you hear one of these great things happen, when a resident says the words thank you to you, when a resident says, you did a great job, I'm so happy to be working with you. When a resident has a compliment for you, we say, wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Would you like to re-sign your lease? We say it all the time. It is never too early to do that, because you can re-sign a lease at any point in time. You do not have to wait until the end. You don't have to wait until 3 months before, 6 months before, or whatever it is, right? When the iron's hot, strike. Is that what the terminology is, Kate?
Yeah.
Strike when the iron's hot, right? There's gonna be so many things you do really well for your residents that if you ignore those as sales opportunities, you're gonna miss out, right? And in the worst case scenario, now, does somebody re-sign a lease the next day after they just signed a lease with us? I don't think it's ever happened in JWD history. But what we're doing is we're setting the tone. Hey, listen, this is why we're here. We want to serve you. We want you to be happy, and we want you to re-sign. So when I ask you again in 3 months or in 4 months or whenever it is, you're going to be prepared for it. You're going to be thinking about it. You're going to talk to your husband or your wife about it, right? You're going to be in the game. And that's the way that you started off. It's this culture of re-signs is where it starts. Here's a few tips. So we do have a systemized lease re-sign campaign for us. It begins 90 days out. So it's a great guess, John. You're a little bit more proactive. Really, 90 days out is about the most that you want to do because 6 months out, residents, aren't really in the zone to really be thinking about it. So when we have a systemized campaign, there's letters, there's emails, there's phone calls, there's things of that nature. So we start 90 days out. Something very important to know is that no right now does not mean no for forever. Again, this sales mentality, right? A lot of times tenants will tell us, maybe at the 90-day mark or maybe the 60-day mark, they may say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to re-sign because I'm going to be buying a new home. That's a very common one. Or I'm going to be doing something else or whatever it is. It's dependent on some other activity in their life. And we say, okay, great. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Let us know how we can help. And we still ask them 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later or a week later or whatever it is, right? It's amazing how they may say no at the 3-month mark, at the 90-day mark out, but then they don't end up buying a home, right? And you can't forget about them. No right now does not mean no for forever. So continue to follow up them, continue to serve them very well. And you'll see a lot of those no's turn into yeses, especially when you remind them how expensive and how terrible it is to move. As it gets closer and closer to doing that, you're going to be able to flip a lot of those no's into yeses. And then we do offer a small incentive for those to re-sign. So about $100 or so, we pay for it at a JWB Property Management. So this is not a net effect to the owner, but we do this. A lot of times we will try to relate it to something in the house. Doesn't always work that way. It was a lot more common when, if there was like carpet in a bedroom or something like that, you can do a carpet cleaning or something along those lines, maybe replace some blinds or something. Something to give you value for the home is sort of the ideal. It doesn't always happen that way. So a lot of times what we do is give them a $100 gift card to a grocery store or to, buy them pizza or something, something that makes an impact. And of course gives an incentive to give us a yes.